Welcome to Andy's Garage. I'm Andy Phillips. Today we're going to be diagnosing and hopefully fixing a vehicle that turns over and cranks but just won't start. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I'm going to have links down in the description to other videos I've done diagnosing similar problems where you get a crank, no start, and just other things that I've been able to diagnose and fix, because in this video that might not be the case. So if what we cover here doesn't apply to your situation, be sure to check those out. Don't forget to also like and subscribe. That way you'll be in the loop as I post other videos. But let's hop in here. I'm going to start it and you can see what we're talking about. Now the particular vehicle that we're working on here, this is actually a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer EXT with the 5.3 liter V8. The process would be the same on pretty much most modern vehicles, as we're going to see, but if you want the specifics, that's the vehicle we're working on. So let's start here and I'll show you. All right, so as we saw, it's turning over. It's cranking actually very fast. This car is a new starter in it anyway, a new battery, everything else. But you can see there's definitely turning over and cranking. It's just not starting the engine. A lot of times that can be caused due to a lack of fuel pressure coming in. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to turn the key, not start the engine, but just turn it to the accessory on and see if we hear the fuel pump priming. If you don't hear the fuel pump priming, you want to check your fuel pump relay. Make sure that's working, check your fuel pressure, things like that. I'll have videos down in the description showing how to do all that. But let's see if we hear it prime. If we do, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so as we saw, you can hear it loud and clear. So the fuel pump is definitely priming. That's a good sign. Like I mentioned earlier, if we didn't hear that, we'd be looking at the fuel pump relay, make sure that that's fine. If that was fine, and the fuel pump's still not working, then you may have to replace your fuel pump. But in this case, it's working. So let's head underneath the hood. We're going to check the fuse box and make sure that the fuel injector fuses are not burned out, because that would be the next thing. If those are fine, then we know that the whole fuel system is working fine. Then we'll move on to the electrical system with the ignition coil pack, spark plugs, things like that. But let's head over there and let's check out those fuses. All right, now on this particular vehicle, as we already mentioned, which is a 2003 Chevy Trailblazer, the fuse box is right here on the driver's side. So let's get a close-up. We're going to open it up and we're going to look for which ones pertain to the injectors, and then we'll inspect those. We have this extra cap here, and now we can see all of our relays, fuses, things like that. Set that here. On the inside lid, you're going to have your diagram that tells you what fuses are which. So we're going to look for the ones that say injectors. Let me get a close-up. So we're looking here for usually it's going to be INJ. So we'll see right here, you can see numbers 55 and 56, INJA and then INJB. So those are the two sides, because I have two banks on this engine here, because of the 8 cylinders. So if we look at 55, 56, we'll come up here, and they are located right there next to this big 58 right here. So if we come here, that's them right there. On the 15 amps, you see the 3 right there. They are the 2 lower ones. Those are for the 2 fuel injectors. So let's pop those out and inspect those. All right, we'll start with taking this one here, the top one out. And that one's definitely burned out. I'll get a close-up of that one. You can see it broken inside. I have a video link across the top where I show how you can test fuses, because not all of them you can see through. So there's another way that you can test them. I'll have that link if you want to check that out. We'll set that one off, and let's check the other one. Chances are that one's burned out too, since we're getting nothing. Oops. And that one's burned out too. You can see that burned out as well, broken. So that explains our problem. Our fuel injectors are not working, so we're not getting any fuel going in. Let's replace these, and that should solve the problem. If they burn out again, then there's an issue that's causing it to short out and blow these things. But let's swap them out. Now those were 15 amp fuses, so I have 2 new ones here. We're going to slide those into place. We'll try the vehicle at that point. Hopefully it doesn't blow them again, because as we just mentioned, then we need to dive in deeper. Hopefully that was just the issue, but still just need to know what caused that, because for both of them to blow, that's odd. So let's pop these in and then we'll start it. The next one in here. Okay. So you can see they're both in place. I'm going to set this off to the side. We're not going to put the cap on there, just in case it blows again and we need to get back in there. So let's go ahead and start it. All right, that was it. Okay, that started it right up. So in this case here, the issue was the fuel injector fuses. So in this video here, if that wasn't the case, then we would have continued on. If they weren't blown, then we knew that the fuel system's working. Next thing I would have done is I would have checked the fuel pressure to make sure that the pressure is coming through to the rail. Then we would have gotten into the ignition coil, spark plugs, make sure connections, things like that. However, if this would have blown immediately, which can sometimes happen, you'll swap them out, you'll start it, and you'll blow them again, then you clearly have a short somewhere with bad wiring. It could be a break in the wiring. You want to also check your connections, make sure that they're not dirty, make sure everything's clean and connected properly. And you want to look for any shorting with maybe the fuel injectors or any of the other electrical components that could be shorting it out. In this case here, it's working fine. That was it. So I don't know what the cause was, so we're not going to dive into it in this video. So that wraps up this video, just diagnosing, and hold on, let me open this door, it's hot in here. That wraps up this video as far as in diagnosing and fixing a car that's cranking but will not start. Always go to your fuses and relays. A lot of times, I've worked on other vehicles too where the fuel pump's not working and it was the fuel pump relay. You don't want to be throwing a lot of money into different parts if it's just something that's right under the hood or in your fuse box here on the inside. You always want to go to those first. Now, if the fuses and relays are fine, then you can start drilling in deeper, but always go there because a lot of times that might be your problem. So I hope this video was informative for you, helped you out with maybe any issues you're running into with your vehicle where maybe it's cranking but won't start. Please send me any questions and comments. I would love to hear from you. And as always, I appreciate all the support. So please like this video, subscribe to this channel. I'm posting tons of videos. I'll have a lot down in the description with other vehicles that wouldn't start that were maybe other issues besides the fuse. So that might help you out if this wasn't the case. But I'll see you next time.